What's up, everybody? Welcome to the London It's Blue podcast YouTube channel. You're about to watch a clip of our Sevilla away Champions League match review. If you want the full podcast, you go over to Apple Podcasts, you go to Spotify, you go to Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts. That's uploaded right now. We also have some fun videos on the channel if you want to stick around and watch those. Peace.
Olivier Giroud on his own had a 1.52 expected goal. So dude might have had himself a day. So let me spare you no more time wasted. Olivier Giroud show, full effect. It was a historic night for our World Cup winning forward. Our third striker who is unhappy with the amount of minutes he's getting, Dan. He responded in an emphatic way.
It was great. It was a wonderful night. I think the first comment, which kind of, there were two that Opta Joe tweeted out afterwards. I'm just going to read verbatim here and then let Nick wax poetic about the eye test here. But Olivier Giroud is the first Chelsea player to score 4 goals in a game since Frank Lampard in March 2010 versus Aston Villa, while he's the first to net 4 for Chelsea in a European Cup Champions League game. Incredible. And then 34 years, 63 days, Olivier Giroud is the oldest player in Champions League history to score a hat-trick, while he's the oldest to do it in the European Cup since Real Madrid's Ferenc Puskás in September 1965, 38 years and 173 days. Glorious. Historic night.
I will quick, it is Puskás, the Puskás Award.
Yep.
Yes. What a guy to be related to. Or connected to in this sense. Nothing but smiles, Nick. To the point where they even let him take the penalty for the fourth. Jorginho was on the field, easily could have been him. No, everyone just moved aside, parted the Red Sea and said, Olivier Giroud, whatever you want, you get.
I mean, that's team chemistry right there, right? I mean, Jorginho hasn't been playing that often either. He probably wanted a goal tonight, and I think just the recognition of the moment, him and Aspi did a little collab sesh and said, no, let the big man take it. I mean, and it's like when this team plays in a selfless way, good things happen. Like there's so much talent on the field. And I think the chemistry that we were a little worried about earlier in the season is really starting to turn on now. We mentioned this in our November month of review, right? Like if the role players in this team can step up and play like starters, we have something special on our hands, because it's going to take all of these players to get us through not only December, but then cup runs in the spring and everything else that goes along with it. Giroud stepping up in a massive way tonight. Pulisic and Havertz coming back from long-term layoffs. Jorginho coming back into the side. Rudiger and Christensen playing together for the first time together since God knows when. Aspi, Emerson played, and that back line kept a clean sheet, for God's sake. I mean,
modern miracles.
It all ladders up to Giroud in this match, and believe me, I'm going to talk about him. But like, all of that matters, and Giroud putting his stamp on this game with utter class. I mean, he was the best player on the field by a country mile. His third goal finish, the second goal where he chipped it. Mwah.
Weak foot.
Yeah, it's his right foot. Little perfect chip that you would see Messi do in another Champions League match. This was a standout performance in a game that, if Chelsea wins, they're guaranteed top of the group, which we weren't last year. It all matters, man. It's a big deal.
So the good news, breaking down his goals, it was such a good, calm finish. Just touching on that one specifically, right? He faked the shot, committed the defender. The goalkeeper also committed, and that's when he knew he could then, essentially hit the very deft chip that he did. And that's something. Look, that takes confidence to hit, and for someone who doesn't have a lot of minutes, he was oozing confidence the entire night. The header for the third where he just split the defenders. it wasn't a power header, it was a glancing header, but he put it on frame. And even the pen, right? Like, he just stepped up and buried it confidently. It's hard for me to understand how someone can just come in from the fringes and play a match like that. I mean, he made Sevilla look average, right? Like, he was involved in the play. Look, all right, Squawka has it here. Olivier Giroud's game by numbers, okay? 37 touches, 17 total duels contested. He was everywhere tonight. He was tackling back into the midfield to try to help win the ball. He had 9 total aerial duels, which is the most. By the way, the 17 duels contested was the most. He had 5 shots were the most. He had 4 shots on target, so great, all right? Oh, by the way, not only was 4 shots on target, he had 4 goals. Also pretty good conversion.
Decent.
He won 3 fouls, which is the most. He had 2 recoveries, 1 tackle, and a clearance. I mean, he did everything tonight. And again, I just can't stress enough how hard it is to come off of the fringes and to play the way he did with guys he's not used to playing with. Because you even look at the rest of the lineup. When's the last time Emerson Palmieri was serving the ball into Olivier Giroud in a competitive match? I don't have
Europa
a clue.
League.
All right.
2 years ago, yeah, probably.
And then you have players behind him with Jorginho, Kovacic kind of in a pivot. He probably hasn't played that much with Havertz, and yet Hudson-Odoi on the right who hasn't gotten a lot of minutes. And just, if you put it all together, it was just, I can't speak highly enough about what Olivier Giroud did, Dan. I can't speak highly enough for just the absolute professionalism he has. I'm glad he challenged Frank and the club publicly that he needs minutes. And when he gets said minutes, does what he just did. You can't ask for more.
Well, and that's what Frank had to say afterwards. So in the post-match presser, talked about the fact that he's the ultimate professional. He isn't always a regular, but his performances have shown that he is a great sign for young players to keep training well. It was a complete performance, and it was. And I think that the penalty, and if anyone came near him and tried to take the ball away, I mean, it would have been the slap out of the hand. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this guy, he's done a perfect hat trick. Let him get the 4th one because he's earned every right. And I think the question now that seemed has come up afterwards is like, well, what does this mean in the pecking order? What does this mean for our next match? What is this? And it sucks that players that you root for may not be getting the minutes, right? Oh man, we really want to see Tammy continue to grow and develop. Man, Giroud, needs minutes. He needs to get in there. We got Timo. Timo's doing, great stuff on and off the ball. We need to make sure we fit him in. I want Frank Lampard to have a massive headache. I want him to be downing bottles of Excedrin to deal with the pain in his forehead because he has so many players that are firing on all cylinders.
Okay, easy.
I mean, this is the thing that everyone's saying after the match, right? Is like, there's no way he can leave because not only are we in a condensed fixture nightmare for the rest of the season, but how many teams have a player like Giroud that they can bring in from the cold, from not playing for 2 months, have him score a winner in the Champions League, and then have him score 4 in the next Champions League game? He is such a weapon that you have to keep him around. I know there are rumors of him going to Miami or back to France or whatever. Believe me, his place in France's squad for Euros is fucking secure. Okay? He's playing for France this summer. He needs to play for Chelsea more, and I think he's going to get more chances. The crazy thing is, on current form, it's him, Tammy, and then Timo in terms of goal scoring form. Timo's the one who's missed the most chances out of those 3. Like, that is crazy, man. Like, and of course you're not going to do it that way, but just thinking about conversion alone, Timo misses more than any of the other 2. He probably gets more chances total, though.
And Timo is playing on the wing where those 2 are playing centrally.
Sure.
Could be a factor. But at the end of the day, Giroud has to have moved up the pecking order, right? I mean, with the last performance we've seen, is he starting or is he number 2? Is it Timo, Olivier, Tammy now?
Well, and Tammy's played well this year too. I mean, like that's the thing. Like you look at this and you remember last season we played some of our best football with Giroud in the lineup. Like that was the weird part about last year is like when it was closing time when we really had to get something done. Who was our starting center forward? Olivier Giroud. So
I'm happy if because I kind of think it's one of those things that like you have to play him while he's hot. Like any striker that scores 4 goals, they pretty much really should have earned 2 starts to at least see what they've got. You know, obviously Leeds and getting into the busy time of the season, maybe he won't play in all those matches just because of the congestion. But I would fully want Olivier Giroud leading the line come this Saturday, Dan. And if you disagree with me, it's over between us.
I will fight you.